Songwriting is hard. How do you go from an initial idea, so it's like, to a fully completed song? In this video, I'm going to share with you my process, and my hope is that it helps you go from an initial idea into a finished song. When I start writing a song, usually it starts with just like a riff. Like I'll discover some kind of riff, and it will be the kind of like if it were a cinnamon roll, it's sort of the flavor nexus of the cinnamon roll.
New band name, I call it.
It's like the thing that everything else kind of like swirls around. And this is an effort for me to release my music. I've been writing this music for a long time. I've been working on this instrumental album. I wanted to start like sharing the writing process because sometimes people just need a little inspiration on how to write, and everyone's process looks different, but this is mine. And so hopefully it's helpful to you, so that way you can write your own music and have fun doing it. So this song is called The Next Hurrah. When I start playing guitar, what I'll do is I'll sit down and I'll warm up. And I have a couple songs that I play. I remember James Hetfield of Metallica said like, I don't know, they'll warm up to kind of shake the rust off. And I totally feel like that. So usually I just start with some simple scales. But usually I'm in E, not with drop D. So actually the first thing I do is I tune. And after I do some scales, I'll play some songs that I really like. I really dig this song by Lindsey Stirling called Moon Trance. And then like the more I started doing that stuff, the more I was like, you know, like what you kind of like practice, you end up writing. I guess it kind of like seeped its way into my blood, especially Lindsey's, we're on a first name basis, Lindsey and I.
I'm the biggest fan.
But her song Moon Trance definitely like has worked its way into like my subconscious. So I initially came up with this riff that was like very practicey. So it's like, so after I made that, I sent it to a friend of mine and he was like, yeah, I kind of like it. I mean, it just sounds a lot like a scale that he learned, but something about it just, I still liked it. And I started like writing around that riff and I thought, oh, it's cool. It like helps me warm up and I think it's kind of a fun riff. I felt like it had like a very like running, like charging kind of feel. And then I started changing it up a little bit so that way it felt a little bit more like less practicey and more like song-y. But the idea was like basically everything started from this like nexus, like. That riff was the thing that kicked the song off. So I wrote that riff, and then I started doing some other stuff around it. Then I did like. And then. And then I went to like a little change in the melody as well. So I started jamming on that song with my son, because my son plays the drums, and he was like, what do you want to play? And I was like, oh, well, how about we play some of my songs? And when we get to we had fun on the verse, but then by the time we got to the chorus was always so boring. So boring. And the first chorus for it ended up going like this, sort of like, yeah. That chorus it sounded fun and cool on my guitar in my room, but when we were playing it, he just was, for that whole chorus, like halftime, and it just was like. So I was like, well, like, hey, what do you want to do here? Like, give me a rhythm. And so he started playing this rhythm on his toms. And he just came up with this cool drum riff. And then so I started playing something behind that, and that was like. And then. So that was the chorus, and then when we found that, I was like, oh, this song actually does kind of rip. I think it's pretty cool. Then it came time to like write a solo. This is an instrumental album I'm working on because I grew up playing and love Kirk and his stuff. Came up with a little solo for it, and the nice thing is that nothing is wasted. You know that really boring chorus that I had? I started playing around with that, and then I got this really cool octave pedal from a local guitar shop. Whoa. I started off with that end riff. And then I did one measure of 5/4, was sort of an accident, honestly. I just wrote the solo, and then I realized I added a beat, and then I kind of liked it, and we kept it. So the solo. One thing that happened while I was recording it was I ended up finding these different little bass lines and something to go underneath. One thing I've learned about songwriting is that if you're gonna repeat something, do something a little bit different to give you like a little bit of a different flavor. There's this Christmas song that basically repeats itself, except the first time it's someone like Nat King Cole singing for the first verse, and then instead of having him sing the same exact thing again the second time around, they have a choir do it, or a bunch of people singing at least, and it sounds different enough to that like it makes my ears happy. So yeah, I think like music in general ought to do that, where it like references itself but it doesn't repeat itself. All right, so to start this song, I started with a drum riff that we go back and repeat. And it's a little bit of a foreshadowing. We have the first verse, which is initially just guitar and drums, and then we layer in the bass the second time we play the same thing, basically, to give it a bit of variety and to give our ears something new to listen to. Okay, so let's just listen to the song, and I will put little graphics in to show what's happening and how I'm layering things, and hopefully the music will speak for itself and be its own instructor. when I record a song, that's kind of where I really find it, because I don't have a band. It's just me playing in my room. I did get to jam on this song with my son, which is really fun. And he definitely helped me find the chorus with that rhythm. So this is sort of an exception. But in general, like I missed that. When I was in a band and I had people I could like bounce stuff off of, and they said, oh no, it'd be cool if we did this. And that's kind of really where you really find the song. So I kind of have to do that alone. But that's okay. You can listen to it on Spotify. We'll have a link below, a link to the tablature. Overall though, I hope that this video has inspired you to write your own stuff and to post it and to record it and just enjoy the process of making music, because music is like a language in and of itself, and it transcends words sometimes. And that's why for this album, I really wanted to make something that was mostly instrumental. There is some singing on there, but yeah, thanks for watching.